So I want to go over this because I know politics is the main thing of the channel, and so we're going to tie this to politics. I think that feminism has been an exact disease that needs to be canceled out, and it needs to be handled. And our politicians won't change that law. It won't change the fact that we're allowing feminism to seep into our culture, and the Democrats keep running on it, and the Republicans keep running against it, but don't nail the issues of why, and they don't change the policies. But the issue of single childless women, when you have a girl who's a boss babe, who's making $800,000 a year, maybe she got a couple hundred G's in the bank, she's got 200,000 different investments. I mean, she's got the nicest penthouse in New York City, she's got an amazing house, but no one to share it with. Is that a bad thing? I don't know. Let's see.
Let me pose a question to you ladies. Let's say you don't get married, let's just say, and you're 40 years old and you've got an amazing career, but you never got married. Would that be disappointing to you?
I would be disappointed. For me, marriage is not that important.
So wait, this is the feminist modern woman we are criticizing every day on this channel. She's the I'm a boss ass bitch, I'm a boss babe, I'm a boss girl, a girl boss is what they call it these days. Look at her answers compared to Pearl Davis and Allie.
Important anymore. I want to have a partner and I want to be with somebody. I would like to get married and get engaged and build this life with someone.
Okay.
But that's not something that's my sole purpose in life.
So if you were 40, never got married, no kids, I'm just hypothetical, no kids, but you had a good career,
I would like
would that be enough to satisfy you?
I always wanted to be a mother. So I want to be a mom before I'm 40. Yeah, because of all the.
Of course, no, that's why I pose it that way.
So I would definitely want to be a mother, and I would be disappointed if I'm not a mother by 40.
How about you, Allie? If you
so notice her answer. This is what it pisses me off. Her answer is, "I want to be a mom," but she, as you can see in the comments in this video, if you watch it, she never comments on, I want a dad to be involved. She just is so selfish. How selfish can you be to want kids, but you don't even care who the dad is? You don't care if the dad's a druggie. You don't care if the dad has a disability. You don't care if the kid grows up without another strong male influence in the family. So that even if you don't stay together, at least, hey, communicate with your dad. Talk to your dad. We both can work together to help our kid grow. She's just wanting to have a kid, but not a kid. She wants the kid to suffer by not having a dad in their life, and she's okay with that, and she wants to be that selfish. Just imagine that answer, and look at this.
If you never got married and you're still working on your career, let's say you're an influencer, but you're still single, would that be a disappointment?
That would absolutely be a disappointment. That's not how I want my life going down at all. And there's something to be said about, if you don't have babies, your DNA doesn't go on. And you're really just kind of life is pointless. I think kids give women purpose. And I think that we lie to women when we tell them that that's not true, that your job is going to fulfill you. It's not the same thing as watching a tiny human grow, look up at you and learn. But, I've noticed.
Real quick, that's right. You could make $8 million as a woman and you're never going to be fulfilled. Okay, I have all this money, I've got all these houses, I've got all these vacations, all my friends are married, all my friends have kids, all my friends have families and other things to do, and I'm a single, lonely, childless, feminist, boss-ass babe, and I don't have anyone to share it with. And I think as a man, too, yeah, that is kind of sad. Why do you think Howard Schultz has kids? Why do you think Bill Gates had kids? Why do you think Steve Jobs had kids? Yeah, they made tens of billions of dollars, but they still had kids. They still had another purpose.
Notice sometimes that women will say that they want kids, but they won't say that they want a specific man's kids. And I think that's an important distinction.
That's exactly right. I just want to have a kid and fuck them. And if they have problems and they suffer the incredibly disastrous statistics that there are about single mom households, I live in one, I don't care. And I don't want them to have a dad to have another strong influence. Realize that.
How do you mean? What's the distinction there?
So, okay, for people that follow my content, they're pretty familiar that I had a miscarriage earlier this year. I ended up going to Facebook support groups because I don't know who else to talk to about that stuff. I ended up going there, and I found two very different schools of thought. There are women that were married and in relationships where they wanted to have children, but it didn't work out. But then there were other women that were grieving, but they're just looking for a guy to get the job done. Like, they're literally hunting for men to impregnate them. They haven't given a thought, well, I mean, what's the cost going to be to the child? So I think, like, if we're going to talk about women wanting to have children and that's like in the plans, then, like, you know, I know sperm is cheap, but we still need it. We still need it. So, you know, what's up with the guy? Where's he at? How are we going to get him?
Yeah, exactly. You're being selfish. You don't care about the kid's well-being. If you're just like, here, random dude at the club, impregnate me. You, random guy on a donor site, here, impregnate me. Yeah, selfish.
Okay,
Terrible.
and then Pearl, if you're 40, YouTube blown up, million subscribers, you killed it, but no husband, no kids, would that be satisfying?
None of it would matter. Like to me, if you have nothing to pass on, and like who cares if you're rich if you're alone?
Yeah,
you can have all the money in the world, but if you don't have like a family to go home to, that's sad. I did this thing where I interviewed executives, like top executives in Milwaukee, and there was a couple that I interviewed that like had no family, no kids, and you could just see how sad they were. And like, who cares if you have all the success if you have no one to share it with?
Yeah, that makes.
Listen, a man's main purpose, yes, is to make money, be on his purpose, be on his grind, all of that. But he loves to provide if you have the right man, right? If you have the right man, he's going to want to provide for you. Not that you can't do it by yourself, not that you also can't work, but a man feels incredibly great knowing, man, I made $10 million and my kids don't ever have to worry about a single thing. My wife doesn't have to worry about bills being low, overdue balances, negative accounts. I get to do that for my family. Man, that's awesome.
That makes me think. I have a couple of friends down here in South Florida. They're both, I would say, very successful estate planners, right? So high profile lawyers, estate planners. And they were both, you're familiar with the concept of dinks, dual income, no kids.
Oh, yes.
Dinks. And they're both, you know, crushing six figures easily. And they were not going to have kids. And then lo and behold, I think after like 10 years of marriage, they decided to have kids. Now they're on their second kid because they realized, holy shit, I don't know what I was thinking here. Okay. By the way, is this discussion that we're having right now, is this something that women sit around and discuss?
No,
this is not.
No, just
okay. Why is this not like, guys, we will shoot. Yo, what up, bro? See that girl? Yeah, here's what I'm thinking. Yeah, like, why don't women have these types of discussion? Why does it take Southcast on Value Tape to subscribe right now to bring this type of conversation to the forefront? Why don't ladies have this discussion?
Wait, what do you mean? What, ladies don't have what conversation?
This discussion right here. They both nodded their head and said, "No." They don't.
Look at this answer right here.
Do you talk about this kind of stuff with your friends?
Look at
stuff like wanting to
career woman, getting married,
of course,
being a housewife rather than an independent woman. So you're saying you do have these conversations.
We don't really talk about. I try to surround myself with people who are very ambitious and career driven, so I can learn from them and like we can all build each other up. So, but we never talk about like, oh, if I don't get married, if I don't do this, like we're all talking about just like building a career.
So he just literally asked the question. The other two girls said no, and she's we do. Yeah, we do. Actually we don't. We actually just talk about being boss babes. Women don't discuss this. I know they don't. I have literally been to a friend's house where he's like, listen, my sisters, all the girls in the house, they're going to have a girls' night, so we got to stay in the living room, but, you know, we're going to have all our snacks with us. The only thing we ever had to do was go by and grab our drinks, you know, some Coke or ice or whatever. They were not ever talking about, hey, do you want to be a wife? Do you want to this? How do you feel about that? How do you feel about this? How do you feel about that? Never, ever. Women do not discuss this. Guys, we absolutely discuss this kind of thing.
You ready to take some calls in a second, Natalia? One sec. But one of the terms that I constantly hear, because I'm asking all sorts of people, what specifically women, on traits or qualities they find attractive in a man, and a term that constantly gets put out there is ambition. He's ambitious. Oh my God. He hasn't made it yet, but he's ambitious. He's got some drive. He's got ambition. That's attractive. It's attractive quality. I don't know if men are like, oh, that girl right there, she's ambitious. I love how ambitious she is.
They're
No.
not.
Okay, so
No.
guys
My
don't care
boyfriend
about
does.
that.
My
Your boyfriend, he loves the
boyfriend.
fact that you're
Yeah.
ambitious.
Yeah.
But you said boyfriend, is it?
Yeah.
Meaning that's not her husband? How do you mean?
I would be curious, right? So if Coco and this guy, right, they end up working on the long term. If he's a masculine man, I would wonder if you'd be in the kitchen making some breakfast.
We both make breakfast. I made it today. He made it yesterday.
Okay. I mean,
I
if
can
that's what
show you
works for you
photos.
guys. No, I don't need photo proof. I'm just saying I would be curious to see if that femininity switch would flip for you.
So is there a switch that women have to basically tap into? Is that what you're saying?
I think women should consider femininity from the beginning, but the West is just really awful at it. I think Eastern culture has femininity figured out way more. But I think some women, they're ambitious, boss babe, that's all I care about. But then they meet a strong masculine man.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, you know what? Like, maybe I'll work part-time. You know, how do you want your steak? Medium rare? What kind of side do you want? I've seen it happen in real time. Women, they're like, I would never serve a man. And then they have the hot plate in their hands.
I cook for my man.
Yeah.
I have no shame in admitting that. I mean, in Europe, we learn how to cook. Like,
So before I let her continue, that awful boss ass bitch, that boss babe, that girl boss. See that? Women typically, now not all women, because I get, it's not all women, oh, it's not me, it's not. Women always try and find an exception to the rule, and I'm not trying to trash women, but mainly the feminist modern women. A lot of the ones that are more feminine, non-modern, more traditional women, they're gonna go, nope, you're right, absolutely, right? And guys, it's not all men, it's not all men. Yeah, guys are fucking grimy. Yeah, absolutely, they're fucking this. Oh my god, Jesus. I mean, it's not all, but yeah, I agree with you. Women always have, it's not all women. It's not me, because I don't do, you see what I mean? Look, she just did it. Well, I cook for my man. But she's still selfish. Again, with the kid, and you'll see in the marriage discussion. I mean, just look at that. And, I mean, she talked about how women do change on a switch. Oh, let me serve you. Let me do this. Let me do that. I have seen friends actually do that, where they meet a masculine man who makes a lot of money, who can provide for her. And a lot of money doesn't have to mean millions of dollars. It could mean $100,000 a year. And they will automatically be serving them when I go to their houses. And I'm like, what happened? You were this boss ass bitch that didn't want to serve a man. And now they are.
every woman pretty much knows how to cook, but that's not something that, like, I'm not gonna not work because I need to make a meal. Like, making a meal is something.
Now she
very
doesn't
normal
understand
in
this
my
point
life.
that
but
Pro's gonna make.
there's a difference between making a meal and making a home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Explain that, please.
Well, I mean, there's a maid can like clean for you, a cook can cook for you, but only a wife can make a home.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like family traditions, culture, and like, what are you passing on to your children?
Yeah, exactly. What's our culture? How do we behave in public? What's our table manners? What are our table manners? What are our morals? What do we value as a family? What should you value in a girlfriend? Son, let me talk to you. What should you value in a girl? Honey, let me sit down with you. What should you value in a man? How should a man treat you? A woman is better than a man in all ways in creating a home. That is just the case.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. So that's,
And
again,
you need to pass that on.
Your dream life is to be, happy wife, happy life. But your dream, like, forget about 1 million subscribers. You want to make a house a home.
Yeah, I just want a lot of kids. Like, I think I'm pretty cool. So I feel like if there's like 5 of me running around, it'd be like, it'd be even cooler.
You ready for what kind of super? By the way, guys, in the super chat, we're going to be answering your questions today. We're these women, as I just want to thank you guys for being here. And everyone has a different opinion, respect. Everyone's getting along great. But I do want to answer some of the questions from valuetainers out there in the audience. Natalia, you got something that you want to ask?
So there's one question from Nate Thruman. He said, why would a man that values marriage want to marry you? That's a question.
To who?
Who, me?
Just in general.
Oh.
If you guys-
Why? Okay,
You
this
looked
is
at me, so I'm like, what?
Yeah.
so why would a man
Mhm.
who values marriage want to marry you? Okay, go.
All right, so simple question. If I value marriage and I'm a man and I meet a woman, why would I want to marry her? Okay, so what does she bring in terms of value and morals and culture and all of that to the table that I would go, you know what? I'm going to buy a $2,500 ring and I'm going to marry her. Look how this goes completely over the feminist's head. Coco.
Go down the line here. Coco, you go first.
Why would a man who values marriage would want to marry me?
Yes.
I'm not really sure if I understand that question.
She doesn't
So a guy
understand
who
it.
wants to get married.
It's so
Yeah.
easy.
Why would he want to marry you?
Oh, so basically you're asking me what it brings to the table, or was that the
Yeah.
question?
Is
Yeah,
that what it is?
hello.
Sure. And we'll go down the line. You're not being singled out.
Yeah, okay, no, I know. Well,
Look at her answer. I'm gonna let her answer play, and then I'm gonna let's say I think Allie goes next. I'm gonna let those two answers play out. Look at the difference.
it's a very strange question, honestly, for me. But I would want to marry somebody that I see building. If I'm with my boyfriend now, and I see marrying him one day, if we get to that point, because he is a good partner. He helps me do certain things, and I help him. And I would. It's easier to live life with somebody.
Mhm.
But that's not like my end goal. Like, I'm not gonna put everything on the side so I can like live life with someone. But
Mhm.
you know, when you're grocery shopping, it's nice to do it with someone. I don't know if that answers.
So your answer is like, look, I'm going to be a good partner. I'm going to bring my.
I like.
I'm going to bring something to the table, but
Yeah.
you're going to bring something to the table.
Yeah.
But we're going to do this together.
Yeah, and also like I always like him and I currently like we
Oh my
things that
God.
he's good at,
Mhm.
I'm not, and vice versa. And also, like, I totally agree. A woman should be able to make a home because guys don't really know how to make a home.
Yeah, I agree.
They don't know
I
how
what I'm
to
doing
how to
here.
decorate the apartment. They don't know the flowers are nice in the apartment. They don't know
Mhm.
that like your utensils should match and shit. So like, you know,
I'm guilty of all that, by the way.
yeah.
Allie, why would a man, or why did your husband want to marry you?
Why wouldn't he marry me? No, I'm kidding. So it's basically my perspective on marriage is a little bit
Difference in
interesting.
answers.
Being in that feminine role where I fully depend on my husband, I believe that gives him purpose. So I think that he's had a greater sense of appreciation for the work that he does.
Mhm.
So it's more fulfilling and he can cope with the stress more because, well, you know, he's doing it for me and he's coming home to me. Also, I make sure that he's rewarded for his hard work and his efforts. He pretty much can lean on me in times of trouble, but also we can also enjoy each other in times of great joy. And that's a really fun thing. A lot of people don't know this. My husband was a 50-year-old bachelor.
Mhm.
Well, 48-year-old bachelor when I met him. So he tells me even now that I add value to his life. And when I think about marriage as a business, it's like, you know, Drummond Incorporated. How can I make our brand, our family, our business? How can I make it so that we can thrive? How much bigger can we make this Drummond household name? And that's my approach to marriage. So if you want a really good hard worker as your wife, like that's what I think I bring to the
Got
table.
it.
All right. Two different answers. Well, it's a strange question. Notice how all that Coco said was all me. What can he do for me? I am looking for a man, and I want him to do things for me. So selfish. This bitch can't even list like. Well, exactly what Ali said. I'm a hard worker. I'm going to make sure that I make our house a home. I'm going to support you. I'm going to honor you. I'm going to respect you as long as you do the same to me. But also, I'm going to figure out how can I make us a good family and how can I bring culture and how can I bring stability to our home? How can I bring you purpose? That is exactly the right answer. And her go, oh, you know, blah, 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 blah. It's just so selfish how she acts and how she talks. Like, well, you know, I help him, he helps me, groceries. It's not my end goal to be with someone. She just said, "Oh, I'd like to be with someone, but it's not my end goal." I mean, it's just she's gonna be 10 years from now looking at this clip, unhappy, single, childless, because that man is not gonna want to stay with her. I'm telling you right now.
One follow-up question before we get to Pearl.
Mm.
You said your husband, when you met him, he was 48,
Yes.
and now he's 50. So you've been
Yes.
married, give or take 2 years.
We're together 2 years.
Was he successful before he met you?
Oh, I think he was very successful. Oh, yes. I hung out at the finish line and I got a winner.
But that's a thing.
I do think it's a thing. And so,
Eric, can you turn me up a little bit? I'm down a little bit.
mhm.
That's right. Men, look, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's just nature. It's just the world. Men are not born with value. Men have to build themselves up, get educated, get certified, get licensed, get this, get that, and they have to work hard and get promoted and go up and up and up and actually climb the ladder of value in order to build a savings to get a nice car. And I'm not talking a Maserati or any BMW or Rolls Royce or whatever, like or Lexus or a Tesla. I'm talking like even a nice looking Toyota, like, and a nice house with 3 bedrooms or 5 bedrooms. you know, he needs to build up to that value. A woman is born with that value. Most women are attractive. I will say that. All women are beautiful, but they are born with something that they can already use as value, whereas men have to get their value. They have to build their value. They can't just, all right, I'm valuable. Men have to do all the work to get more to be more valuable.
So when I met him, he was very accomplished in the military. That's the thing, is a lot of women wouldn't think that my husband makes enough money, but I'm a badge bunny. I'm like a masculinity honey. That's what I'm looking for.
What is a badge bunny?
A badge bunny is a woman who likes cops, firefighters, service members.
Gotcha.
So
a man in uniform.
Yes, a man in uniform. So he's a major, and he's got all these shiny medals, and I'm like, sir, pick me, marry me, choose me. And yeah, so I know that a lot of women wouldn't think that he makes enough, but we live in the Midwest, so it's like more than enough money to go around. And then, you know, I've got the muscles to make up for it. So
there you go. All right, Pro, why would a man want to marry you?
I do my best to be an asset in a guy's life in whatever way that I can. So with my last boyfriend, I was always like cooking and cleaning, and I'd like manage some of his business stuff. So when I'm like going into a relationship, I always think about like, what can I do to help this guy, like, his life be easier day to day.
I think
Boom. That's exactly it. Are you going to make my life easier? Are you going to give me peace? Are you going to support me in my endeavors? Are you going to honor and respect me? Those are questions that a man is going to ask. So Ali talked about, you know, being there to make his household the right household, to bring the right values, to bring the right morals, to build culture and all of that. And Pearl just said, look, I got to bring value to you. I got to be an asset. I got to support you and make life easier for you. Because a man is, if you find a high value man, ladies, or all you feminists, that man is taking punches in the face left and right, uppercuts, jabs. I mean, you hammers, whatever. He's taking all of that, all for you, all to provide for you. And if you're not doing anything to support him, and you're not offering him peace, and you're being unnecessarily argumentative and nagging and all of that, well, guess what? That man's going to drop you and find somebody else. Okay? So again, the main thing is, if you are a boss babe and you're a girl boss and you're a feminist and you're working your ass off, you got $350,000 a year, you got 800 grand in the bank from all your work, and you're 45 and you're single and you're childless, again, unfortunately for a woman, her value depreciates, and a male's value appreciates if he does the right things. If you got a guy who just sits there playing video games, eating chips, and hanging out with his friends and drinking, that's a piece of shit, man. I'm sorry, it's just stupid. But if you got a guy who's actually increasing his value, the more he gets, the older he gets, the richer he gets, he's got more options, and it increases. For a woman, you can be as rich as you want, but a lot of men are not going to go for the alpha female, the high value earner female, even if he's a high value man, because, well, there's a lot of issues with that. You know, they're demanding, they are controlling, they want things done a certain way, they are taking on the masculine traits, and that's not what men are looking for. And if you're going to have a kid, you should have, if for a guy, a serious man, an actual good guy, we are looking for the right woman to have kids with. We're not just wanting to get a girl pregnant just because. I wouldn't do that. I want someone that's going to be a good mom to my kids and helpful, and to build them up and culturally, morally, and all of that. As a woman, you have to do that, or you're being selfish and you're setting up your child for a disastrous life and a bunch of failures and a bunch of you're setting them up to be in the statistics that say all the bad things about single mom households that are actually very true, and that's just the case.